It's Dieter and Hutch. We're back. NFL draft. Fast approaching. Probably too fast. NFL draft guide coming your way April 14th. If Jake's still alive by then, we're going to find out. We're
Who's to
excited to find
say?
out.
Who's to
People are
say?
asking. People are finding out. We wanted to do this one last year. Didn't have an opportunity to because we didn't know what the hell we were doing. We still don't know what the hell we're doing, but we do have the technical powers now to
We
mock.
have the technology.
That's right, to mock your draft. So we do a lot of mock drafts here on the channel. At a certain point, every possible combination of players to team and pick has been expunged. I think that point was about 3 weeks ago. I'm kind of over mock drafts, if I'm being honest with you,
Yeah.
Jake. But listen, y'all love it, and we love
Yeah.
it. Like deep
And
down,
we're
we love
gonna
it,
have to do at least one more, maybe two.
without question. And something that I've wanted to do is get some input here on, okay, everyone, loves our mock drafts, hates our mock drafts. Let's see your mock drafts. Let's see you try to get up here onto an OBS camera and do these mock drafts. We're not going to do the camera part, but we will take your submissions, and we did. And you know what? I just want to be nice off the bat here. There's some good ones. There's some legitimately good ones. And I feel like we're market movers here a little bit, Jake. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, we're changing the bets. Wait till we come out with our gambling guide.
The gambling guide, the one that we'll need because we'll all be we'll be trying to get a buck any way we can.
That's right.
Let's not dick around with this anymore. We have talk about expunge. We've talked for 2 minutes. Let's just get right into it, and let's get into Tony Nagatani.
Come on, brother.
It gets
Tony
worse by
Nagatani.
the day. Togi Nagatani. It's a hell of a name. Did I get it
went
right?
with Togi that time.
Togi. Let's talk to Togi. And at this point, it's becoming a bit.
I kind of like it.
Whatever, it is what it is. I don't sleep. When we start with this one, I want to be clear. We're starting with the most unhinged one known to man. I have to now zoom in for the audience, Jake.
As do I.
This is, am I correct in saying those are 5 trades?
5 trades before pick 21. This is classic exploitation of the system.
We're working the market, baby. We're working the market.
You just trade down, which, I kind of love it.
Oh, no.
If we're being honest.
Conceptually brilliant. Practically impossible.
Absolutely.
That's where we're at. So I just want to run through real quick all the trades that were made. And in fact, there's so many trades that were made, creating so many draft picks later on that I don't have a high enough resolution image to show to our audience. So this all looks blurry. Your eyesight's fine.
Incredible.
The 49ers are going to trade 11 for 13 and 98 to the Miami Dolphins. Then the 49ers are going to trade 13 to the Atlanta Falcons for 15, 118, 218, and next year's round 3 because we're mock drafting. Why not throw in some 2026, baby? I don't even know if that's 2026. Again, the resolution.
It could be 2029. It doesn't matter.
Who's to say? They're going to take 15. They're going to call up the Bengals. By the way, any of these teams that are doing this trade could have just done the trade to get up to that number with the original team. Just a thought.
Right.
So the Bengals could have just called the Falcons and said, we'd like to move up too. Instead, they decided to bring in some sort of a middleman and pay a tariff, which, hey, now we're doing our current events. Here we go.
Good business.
Just good business. Art of the deal, baby. The Bengals are going to get 15, which I don't know if it was ever even held by the 49ers. They're also going to get 252 for some reason. I don't know why.
Got to sweeten the deal somehow.
Has no value whatsoever. They're going to then give the 49ers 17, 81, and 193. Now, I will say this, Jake. That is a trade that has been mocked repeatedly. I think you and I fall back into it with muscle memory at this point. Trading not 15 in this case, but in our case, 11 to the Bengals for 17. Like, just muscle memory there.
Yeah.
But hold on, because now 17 is going to Tampa Bay. This thing is moving all around. It's on Taylor Swift's private jet. It's going across the country, left, right, and center. 17 and 249. Again, got to get that 249 in there. For 1984, 157. And the paperclip game is not over yet, Jake. 19 is going to the Pittsburgh Steelers and maybe Brandon Ayuk. Who's to say? For 21 and 83. I don't even know what they've accumulated. Let's find out as we now go
Yeah.
through the rest of this draft.
Good God.
Uh, listen, I'm not going to read off every pick. There's a good deal of them. What names jump out to you as it pertains to a number on the screen you have in
Well,
front of you? And I'll give you some time because there's a lot to sift through.
you start with Walter Nolan. That's what you trade down. And listen, the concept of trading down to get Walter Nolan makes a ton of sense.
If you can add 5 picks in the 80s and get Walter Nolan, you've succeeded.
Which, by the way, there's like pick 43 and then a steep drop off, and then like pick.
Please call pick 43 what it's rightfully known as, which is
What's
the
that?
Trey Amos Memorial Draft pick.
Correct. That's exactly what it is. And if he's not there, it's worthless. And then there's like a horrible spot, and then you got a little bit in like the 70s, and then again you want to be in like the 90 range. Right? There's like two weird spaces, at least how these mock drafts are going, where it's just ugly territory.
Yeah.
I don't love Landon Jackson at 43.
I like
think
Landon Jackson more than you, but I
him
think
a lot more
43
than
is
me.
a stretch. I think he's a third-round pick.
Yeah, I think he's very athletic, and I don't think he's very good at football yet. I think he could be, but he's sort
sounds
of
like a 49er defensive lineman already.
pretty blind. Chris Paul, I like, but he's a little tiny guy.
I legitimately hate Chris Paul in mock drafts. I can't justify taking someone that small. You can't expect that guy to come in and be an impact player in the NFL. If you're taking a 5th round, 6th round flyer on him, go to town. But like pick 75, a pick you have to have. You're telling me we're going to take the itty bitty guy who, yeah, he flies around. What else is he going to do? If he was slow and that small, he wouldn't be on the field.
Yeah, in my head, I want to vet this out. In my head, he's the same size as D. Winters. I need to verify that.
Okay, you take that while I talk about Jordan Phillips from Maryland.
Go for it.
What are we seeing here? What are we seeing with Jordan Phillips from Maryland? What is it that this guy appreciably does well? Is he big? Sure. It's almost the exact opposite argument of a Chris Paul. And maybe you're going to go, oh, Dieter's going in on Chris Paul being too small, but he's such a good football player. And then it's like, oh, well, Dieter's going, Jordan Phillips isn't a good Dieter says he's not a good football player, but he's big. Like, how about you need both to go in the top 100? How about you need the specs and the production to go in the top 100? I don't need wild risks in the top 100. And if I'm John Lynch and I'm taking somebody on just a whim, a bit of whimsy, if you will, I'm getting fired. There's no way. They took Trey Lance on spec, no production. How'd that work out? They took Javon Kinlaw on spec, no production. How'd that work out? They've taken guys on production, no spec. How'd that work out? Top 100, you need to have both. What do you
By the way, Chris Paul, he's taller than D. Winters. D. Winters is 5'11". D. Winters is 5'11", 227. Chris Paul is almost 6'1", 222.
Too little. I don't like D. Winters.
No, I know.
And D. Winters is a massive liability with his Ralph Wiggum-like tackling. So
correct.
Can you talk to me about David Walker and why people like him?
No, I haven't.
Enough.
It's one guy I keep meaning to watch, and then I wasn't impressed at the Senior Bowl, and everyone kept talking him up. And he's on my list because that's one of the final guys I need to check off my draft guide. And I just can't bring myself to go watch Central Arkansas.
That's what I was going to say. How did you not prioritize Central Arkansas tape? Which, by the way, speaking of Trey Lance, we had to do. Remember how much Central Arkansas tape we watched? We watched that game about 7 times.
Yeah. God, we really did.
Can I get in a lick on Harold Fannin Jr.?
Yeah, you hate him.
What is it? Oh, my goodness. He kicked Buffalo's ass. Yeah, not the Buffalo Bills, the Buffalo Bulls. And he does not have the athleticism. He's not a good blocker. You're just going off of a receiving tight end at the MAC level who ate it up. No question. He ate it up at the MAC level.
I mean, he led the country in receiving.
Who did he play against?
I'm pretty sure he played Ohio State.
How'd that go?
I'm pulling up the stats right now, Dieter. Come on, man.
Did not go poorly, if I remember correctly. And now you get to tell me if I did or did not.
Well, he didn't play Ohio State this year.
Who did he play? Who's
played
the best
Toledo.
team? Oh, wow.
Played Toledo, Miami of Ohio,
Yep.
Arkansas State,
Yeah.
Central Michigan, Western Michigan. Oh, he played Penn State. He had 11 catches for 137 yards and a touchdown against Penn State. And he
And the
played Texas A&M and had 8 catches for 145 yards and a touchdown against Texas A&M.
Okay, I did not watch the Texas A&M film. I did watch the Penn
He
State
was
film.
graded as the second best player against man and had 4 yards per catch against zone, which, is best in the country by a yard and a half over Tyler Warren. So I get the concerns.
How is he
I
supposed to
get the
beat man when
concerns.
he doesn't have any twitch?
It's not true. That's not true. He
What are you
does have
talking
twitch.
about? He doesn't have any twitch.
He does.
He is the worst RAS score for a tight end to go this high since Jordan Reed. And Jordan Reed was injured during the combine.
Listen,
I'm out.
I
I'm out.
I think he I
Have
think
him.
I get it.
Have him.
I get it. I get why you're out. But at pick 100 in a weak tight end class, I still like him. I still like him. And he's not a bad athlete at all.
Just because it's a bad tight end class, Jake, does not mean that you should draft somebody earlier than they should go. This guy is a
That's totally fair, but like it's not like he's actually still a very good athlete. He just didn't jump off the charts, which is why you're like, all right, is that a concern? When people are
the
talking about
whole
him in
point of
round two,
athleticism is that you jump off of charts. It
he had
literally
he had an
includes
elite 3 cone. He did very well, and I mean he didn't run the 40-yard dash as fast as people wanted him to, but it's still 80th percentile for a tight end, 75th percentile for vert and broad. Shuttle's solid. Like it's not top tier, but it's all 70th percentile or higher. I get it. I get why you're concerned, but like I watched the tape and he's excelling against those two teams that we talked about. Like,
I'll watch the A&M one again, but you know how I feel about Penn State safeties. You know how I feel about them.
yeah.
So
I
yeah,
I listen, I keep trying to see it.
we've been looking real hard.
Safety's also a nightmare. So,
It's a night. Okay. I like Ashton Gillette. I like JJ Pegues. Brashard Smith, totally viable at
yeah,
138, right?
Brashard Smith is a guy that I kept watching and I'm like, he's super fast, but also kind of like he doesn't know what he's doing.
No separation.
Like, and he's a receiver who converted to running back, but yet like I don't think he's a great receiving back. I know that sounds crazy. Like
Great.
like I
Yeah,
think he
I
put
get
the
where you're
ball in
coming
his
from.
hands and he can fly, but like his craft as a receiving back is not as good as I had hoped.
He
Um,
looks more like a kick returner to me.
oh yeah, I'm totally with you. I think he's a guy that like you put him on special teams and see if he can like figure out the position. And you just bet on the speed, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And I think that the flexibility will get some teams excited, but he seems to be
Yeah.
a jack of all trades and a master of none,
Billy
which
Bowman's fun.
he's fun. He's fun.
Problem is he's tiny. He's tiny. I think he's like not necessarily a free safety, but maybe like a nickel, like a fun special teams guy who
Nothing
you
wrong
could
with
move to nickel.
that. It's hard to mock anything that happens after like
Right.
135.
Right. Like Trevor Etienne. Absolutely. I like Trevor Etienne.
Logan
Um,
Brown, come on down. Curtis Rourke, I tried. I really did
I
try.
tried. I think he's blind. I think that's the problem. I think it's going to be like, remember how Jameis was playing and he needed like eye surgery like 6 years into his career? Didn't solve anything,
I
but
very much do remember that because I made a very large bet, not fiscally, but emotionally, on post LASIK Jameis, and it did not pay off. It
no.
was pretty much the same
Did it get
Jameis.
worse?
I don't know if it got worse. The opportunity certainly got shorter.
Yeah.
Curtis Rourke can throw with accuracy, and
Totally.
he can move around a little bit. But yeah, he does anything beyond about 7 yards down the field. He's like, it's a mystery. Let's
I
find
watched
out.
him throw a crosser where his receiver was behind two guys underneath and there was a safety over the top and he's like, I got this. I was like, what are you possibly looking at?
This Canadian's got moxie. I'll give him that. We love Aronde Gatson. We love
Yep.
Holland Pierce.
Great.
Jake, grade this mock draft.
So I'm gonna, instead of using like out of 10, I'm gonna go on a SICKOS scale. I'm gonna give
Wonderful.
it 4 out of 5 SICKOS. Because it's pretty sick. It's pretty deranged.
Yeah.
I don't think you went crazy enough with the picks. They all make quite a bit of sense.
Yeah,
So
they're
that's
all.
why I can't give you a 5 out of 5. But I love how insane the trade downs are.
I love
And
how insane it was that after the 49ers basically played hot potato with draft picks in the first round, controlling the entire board, like a
Right.
game of Risk, they just stopped calling teams. That was
They got
my favorite
tired.
part. They're
They got
just like, nah.
tired.
Or the rest of the league, like, cut them out. Did Roger Goodell step in and be like, you got to stop making trades? These other teams can't handle your
Yeah.
negotiation skills. That's what I like. That definitely a 4 out of 5 on the sicko meter because, as you said, all of these picks very sane, very
Right.
logical, well thought out. So good job, Tony
Yeah.
or
Who do we got
Toki.
next?
Um,
Tucky.
this is from Matthew Bassett, 2725.
Okay.
Okay, Armand Membu at 11. Good luck with that, sir. Not going to happen.
Oh.
What? What?
Interesting.
You don't
Just
like it?
some interesting choices here. Some interesting choices.
Choices have been made. To be fair on this one, some strong, aggressive choices have been made, like David Walker at 75. Again,
Also, Azarie Thomas, who I like, but is also like gets pushed around a
yeah,
lot.
I think that Renardo Green is giving Azarie Thomas a bit more of a boost than he deserves. You're like, oh well, that system just
Yeah.
creates Renardo Greens, and you're like, I can kind of see
They've
where you're
also
coming
got
from.
yeah. They've also got Fentrell Cypress, who's intriguing too.
A
But
hell
yeah,
of a name.
there's a reason like, FSU was just not much this year.
Okay, can we talk about Jamari Caldwell at pick 100?
Yeah.
What are
How
you
do you
doing?
feel?
What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What does this guy do? What does he do?
He has some really fun plays, and then like 75% of the time you're like, I'm not seeing anything.
I want to be abundantly clear about this. Outside of the wide receivers, I don't want anything to do with the University of Oregon this past season. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm selling my stock. I have a rule in fantasy baseball that I just don't have Minnesota Twins on my team. Why? Because I hate the Minnesota Twins and I don't want to root for them under any context. Right? That's how I feel about Oregon right now. I don't want anything to do with Oregon right now.
Yeah. So my thing, this brings us to Derek Harmon, who I have third
Yep.
on my board at defensive tackle because he's consistently disruptive. Problem is, seems like he's got these stumpy arms and he's a little like top heavy and he just never finishes anything.
Nope.
And you're like, dude, you did the hard part, finish, and he just rarely really does. And so this guy, Jamar Caldwell, was playing with him. Listen, I see it. He's a big dude.
Oh no,
Beef
he's a
bourguignon.
5-star baby. He's
Beef
got
bourguignon
everything.
on wheels, right?
Yep.
That's how I see him. But the downside is he's like a nose tackle who maybe just doesn't defend the run.
Oh, well, again, sounds like a 49er to me. We all love Willie Lampkin. Taking him at 113 is managerial malpractice.
Which position are you playing him at, Dieter?
Played him at stump. That's what he is. He's a stump.
Stump Chuggins.
Stump Chuggins. That's the only thing I'm referring to him as now.
Stump Chuggins.
We like Aeneas Peoples. I don't know if I like him at 98 for what it's worth.
I think that's fair for him. I think that's fair value.
Okay. Thought we were
All right,
mocking
yeah.
a draft, but okay. Tyler Barron. Tell me anything about Tyler Barron, because when I put on that Miami
possibly.
tape, I'm like,
Nope.
who's Tyler
Miami's another team where, like, I don't want anything to do with those lines. Just back. I'm not interested. I haven't, like, I've watched a lot of Miami, and I haven't been like, ooh, this guy. So
Right.
I have yet, again, Edge is one of the last ones. I'm finishing at the late guys. Tyler Barron, of the many Miami games I've watched, maybe I'm wrong, but has not jumped off the tape.
Well, you're not wrong enough to go at 138. Now, I will say this. Big fan of the 147, 160 play here.
Oh, yeah.
Smith and Conyers. I don't know how Conyers is getting an F grade at 160. I'm going to whatever this is. I think this is Pro Football Focus. And by the way, a wonderful cornucopia of mock draft databases that
they've got. By the way, Pro Football Focus has some lovely people doing. Just look like they woke up 2 seconds ago and are just like, Jack Sawyer is a first rounder. Just those guys are doing content for them now. It's very weird.
I don't think we should go in on anybody on the basis of looks like we just woke up.
I'm not defending my appearance. I'm also insulting others. I can take it.
Bring
so
it down.
I can dish
Bring
it
down to your level. Got it.
Yeah, I'm looking greasy. I have not showered today, Dieter. Come on.
I took a shower today. I felt
All
really
right.
good
Well, now
about
you're
it.
flexing on us. Okay.
Well, yeah, but the hair hasn't fully recovered. I forgot to
Love that.
condition.
Conyers, by the way, where would you guess I have him on my tight end board?
3.
Yes, that's correct.
I think you told me yesterday.
Well, that's you know,
Craig, I mean, I can't go in on anybody who's getting picked after like 135. I
yeah.
guess I just did that with Barron, so
And
fuck
who's to
me.
say if any of these people are real?
I mean,
I
is
know Craig
Nicholas
Woodson
Martin real? Could you tell me? I can't tell you.
can't.
I'm going to say this right now. Don't think Nicholas Martin's in our draft guide.
Nope,
Don't think he's
he's
there.
not.
Don't think I ever inputted him into the system. Definitely.
Nope.
Jackson Meeks might be. I kind of like him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll probably make it. He'll probably
This
make
is
the cut.
this is on a sicko scale about. This is like sneaky sicko. I'm gonna say like 2, maybe 3. I'm gonna give it a
Yeah.
sneaky 3
I'll
because
give
like
it a yeah.
Willie Lampkin at 113. That's just consuming too much Larry Krueger. That's what that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. That's it's definitely deranged. It's definitely deranged. I guess it's like, are we grading the sicko scale by how insane they are, or by just our gut feel on vibe?
I think it has to be the latter. I don't think
Yeah.
sickos could take into account like some
Yeah.
sort of orthodoxy.
If it's completely deranged, that's when you get up there, whether I like it or not. But it's a balance of
Well,
being kind of bad and also not deranged enough.
I think that the ultimate standard of a sicko is you're just on the edge. It's almost edge lording without deliberately trying to do
Right.
it. And this is why I say it's sneaky. There's just a couple little nuggets in here that
Yeah.
you're like, what?
Yeah, you
Huh?
want it to be even more insane, honestly.
There's levels. I mean, if there was a lot more, if you're giving me a little bit of a 1-2, right? So you're going like, okay, Peebles at 98. Oh, that makes sense. Here's Lampkin. You're like,
Right.
oh wow, okay, this guy's this
Yeah.
guy's in it. But then,
Yeah.
like you have to balance it out. It's a game of you're doing
I'm
some
with you.
music here. I
I'm
don't
with
think
you.
that this sings enough of a song. Like Armand Membu at 11, a little deranged. Like Thomas at 48, not really. A totally
Yep.
normal trade, not deranged enough. I'm going to give it a sneaky 3.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Where are we going next?
This is from JD at Keeping the
Yep.
Faith on YouTube. Just first glance, man, it's just a good mock draft. There's not that much to mock here. It's all
Well-
really solid and normal, except for Fannin, who again I don't see it. Also,
And I
you know what?
think-
I take
and I
everything
think-
I said back. Go ahead.
And I think Ursery, I think that's a little high for him because I'm not sure. Like, Ursery's a guy where he gets his hands on you and you're not moving, but there's quite a bit of stiffness there. Where if you're like the 49ers, I don't know if that's a guy that's going to actually play tackle for you, be out in space, but he could be a murderous guard for you.
Well,
It
it'd
just
be
might not
murderous for
be in the
Brock
vein.
Purdy, who wouldn't be able to see anything that was happening on,
Correct.
I presume, the left side of the line.
Correct.
Because he takes up so much space. But like Nolan at 11, listen, that's good sicko energy right there. We love that.
Yep.
Ursery at 43, it's a stretch. That's more of a stretch than it is Galaxy Brain sick. Fannin at 75, I mean, it might be right. I just don't think it's right. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah,
might be
I'd
right
wanna get him later.
number-wise. But Kyle Kennard at 100, John Lynch is going to love Kyle Kennard. Oh, buddy.
He's a guy that I sort of wrote off initially, and then I watched more. I was like, this guy makes some plays.
Best defensive end in the SEC last year. Do I think he should go in the top 100? This might be the right number. I can justify making him a top 100 pick on production, but the specs are problematic, which, again, sounds like a 49er to me. CJ West, 113. Lock it in, baby. Teddy Buchanan at 138. Hey, now.
Yep.
This is
I was talking to you about Teddy Buchanan, and listen, I think he needs a little bit of work. His eye discipline worries me. Sometimes just totally shoots the wrong gap. But my God,
he's going though. He's going.
My God, he is a freak athlete he's trying out there. He's ready to put it all on the line, and he might be who the 49ers need.
I get that. No problem with Teddy Buchanan. 138, a little rich for me personally.
I agree.
Big Geese at 147. Luke Kandra, someone we haven't talked about at 160, would be a great pick.
Yeah.
Full stop. I like Ja'Cory Brooks. Certainly like him at 227. Don't know if he'll get there. ETN 249 makes sense to me. Mac McWilliams will not be there at 252. Not even close. Shave 100 off of that one, buddy. Not a chance. I like Mac McWilliams a lot, though.
Yeah, I don't think ETN will be there either. But yeah, this is just solid. You've seen how the draft flows, and you're making reasonable quality picks.
Yeah,
Solid. I'll
outside.
give it,
What do you got?
I'll give it a 3.5 sickos.
No, way
No?
too. That's way too sick for this one. This is a sane, rational, normal
But yeah.
person who just likes who he likes, and this is a 1.5 on the sicko scale.
All right. Well, we were just talking about vibes. We didn't decide on the sicko scale. If we're talking about an insane person,
The
yeah, it's a it's
again,
a it's
Jake,
a it's
it's
a
edge
2
lording.
for me.
How edge lord is this mock draft? It's not edge
Yeah.
lord at
It's
all.
it's yeah, it's a 2. You could argue the Harold Fannin Ursery, yeah, but it's
No, I
not
mean
that
the
sick.
two
It's
craziest things on here are Nolan at 11 and Buchanan at 138.
yeah,
Those are fine. We like
it's
those.
reasonable.
Therefore, it's not
I'll
sick.
give it a 2.
But it's a good mock draft.
It
Honestly,
is
like
it's a solid mock
I would have
draft.
been proud of it. Okay, this is from Christian. Jake, Tyleek Williams. Why at 43? Why?
So some people keep talking up Tyreek like he's a first rounder, and I like him, man. I like him as a run defender, and also he's one of those. Tyreek is like, you know how girls do this thing where when they talk about a girl that they don't really like, they like, but they don't really like, they go, "She's so nice." That's where I find myself with Tyreek Williams.
Is that what they mean by that, by the way?
They're like, "Oh my god, she's so nice," and you're like, "Oh, what about her?" She's like, "Well," and then they rattle off a bunch of things that they don't really like
So
about her, but she's
so
so
she's so
nice.
nice means that she's like a succubus bitch. Is that
She's
the
the
code?
worst.
Okay.
She's the worst.
Okay. I might have
Um,
gone a little extreme there.
nah, you might not be. Tyleek, listen, I think Tyleek is like if you draft him in the 3rd round, that's solid. Like he's a guy that's like really solid in the run game.
We're picking him
I
at
think
43 here.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't. I kinda think Ty Hamilton's the better player. Like, I kinda think he's just got more upside.
Get that.
Um, and Tyreek, like, I just wanna see it more.
Mhm.
Like, he's a potent run defender who can just throw guys asunder, totally throw them to the ground and
I'm
can
sorry.
hold
I'm
up, but
sorry. That throw them asunder.
asunder to the depths of hell. Um, listen, he can plug in the run game, but doesn't show up consistently in the pass game, and maybe that's just the way Ohio State runs their defensive line, some of the
It
stunts and
isn't.
stuff.
That isn't. No, they're
But
gap
he's really
shooters.
just standing there waiting, and I don't know. I can't take somebody who's just off the bat. I mean, and listen, you need gap pluggers, right? That's what the 49ers need, but that's a premium price to pay when I think there's other guys who do it pretty well. And maybe I'm wrong,
No, no, no.
but
He's far closer to Omar Norman Lott than he is to Nolan, right?
right. Right.
I've
It's
taken
just
I've taken Norman Lott at 43. So yeah,
but
yeah.
I think Omar Norman Lott, um, he's got some wiggle to him, and he can use his hands to get by guards. He's got a little bit of a different sort of frame, but yeah, I hear you on that.
Alfred Collins 75. That makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oladejo at
Great.
100, probably a little rich. I think maybe the hype
I
machine's getting a little
disagree.
too crazy.
I
All right,
think I think he is starting to be overvalued, but I think 100's about the right spot for him.
we love Kobe Bryant.
Yep,
Rest in peace.
absolutely.
Um, Danny Stutzman. You were watching some Danny Stutzman recently. What do you think?
Yeah, it was. He's there. I was on with Larry, by the way, and there was some absolute lunatic who just kept talking about how good Danny Stutzman was.
And that would have been Larry.
It wasn't Larry. It was some man who just kept talking Danny Stutzman up for the entire chat, and then
Oh,
literally left a
oh,
comment.
Jake, you look at the chat during a Larry stream?
I pop in and I close it.
Oh
I'm not
no.
watching the entire
Oh
time.
no, Jake, no. No, that's a rookie mistake.
No, it's
By the
not.
way,
It's
arrogant is code
yeah,
for this person's smart and makes me feel uncomfortable.
yeah.
That's a
More
little tip for
morbid,
you.
morbid curiosity.
Yeah, well, that's definitely morbid.
Stutzman. Okay, Stutzman. There's a lot of miss in his game. Hesitant, too passive, not getting enough depths in his drops. Panicked, looking for crossers.
But other than
He
that, great linebacker.
might be an overthinker or just like might have a bad feel for the game. He's a
Might be
big dude with
overthinking it. Might not have a brain. Who's to say?
yeah, it's either he knows what he's supposed to do and he's overthinking it, or he doesn't know what he's doing and he's just panic watching. He's a big dude who's athletic with speed, but is really clumsy. He's real clumsy. Ends up on the ground a lot. Um, yeah, he could be a star middle linebacker. I think he's somebody you play at will, start him at Sam, and you just let him like fly, and then you move him to Will, and you let him learn for 2 or 3 years if he can learn.
Oh, wonderful.
But
Just another 2 to 3 year project for
yeah,
the next head coach and GM to deal with.
but he's gonna drive you insane as a rookie for sure.
Oh, yeah. No question about that. He won't even be a good special teams player as a rookie.
Probably not. There's
Um,
a little too much hesitation in that game for me.
Jalen Lane, 160 wide receiver, Virginia Tech. I like Jalen Lane a lot. I think that at 160, there's Niners are going to like Jalen Lane a lot.
That's who I'm going to watch. The second we're done with this, I'm going to watch some Virginia Tech wide receiver tape.
Godspeed to you, my friend. Luke Lachey, Nick Lachey's much younger brother.
Let me just say,
yeah.
his tape, you'll see in the draft guide, folks, but there's a point I would recommend when you get to
Jake
tight ends.
loses his mind.
Read the Luke Lachey element because you can see exactly where tight ends break me. And it's Luke Lachey. It's Luke Lachey because I just go, what are we doing here, man? Like, what are we? You're an Iowa tight end who can't block. My superlative for him is nap worthy. He's got, listen, upside. He's got a little bit of craft. He can work with some option routes, a little choice, just a little shimmy, right? But that's basically a big slot receiver. How are you just going to have an Iowa tight end who can't block? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? He has shades of George Kittle having a nightmare that he's back at Iowa, but he's unathletic and he's running like you do in a dream where you can't really run. That's what Luke Lachey is. Happy? Those are my feelings.
You like him at 227?
No, I don't like him. But yeah, he's a 6th to 7th round prospect.
No position gets Jake angrier consistently than tight end.
They're so bad this year, man.
Do you think that our standards, because we watch like Kittle and Fred Warner and Trent Williams and Nick Bosa, do you think our standards at certain positions are too high because we've seen it played at the highest level?
I think our standards are fine. The standards for tight ends themselves are too low. Like, what are we doing with all these move tight ends? Go block somebody. Get your hands here and drive him, you cowards. God, I'm sorry.
Sicko meter on this one is this is tame. This is tame by Sicko standards. I don't see any of our
dull.
Yeah, one.
Yeah,
one out of five. Totally normal, sane, corporate job mock draft. Sorry. Punch your 9 to 5 on this one, Christian.
Right. He did not fight going back to the office.
This guy, this is somebody who reads The Athletic on the regular and just, really
nice insight. Nice insight. He clicks the emojis, the smiley face at the bottom. I like this article.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No question about it. Really big on commenting anytime there's like a nice profile. Like, this is why I subscribe to The Athletic. 100%. That's this guy. That's this guy right
here. We haven't been roasting these people enough. That was the whole point of this. You're getting roasted. Boom.
I didn't want to make it personal, but like, this is the pleated khaki pants of mock drafts right here.
Right. They're hanging the night before. They're ironed. They are hanging separate from the rest of the pants.
This is the Sunday night premium cable.
Honey, did you need me to pick up Sweet Green on the way home?
Woodgravy.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
We know Woodgravy's completely lost his mind because he has Kenneth Grant going in the top 25. We've taught him nothing, Jake. We've taught him nothing.
This is pretty sick. This is the range. Should you trade down, you pick up a future second. You're taking Alec, who might be sick, might also have no idea what he's doing at 43. Pretty steep price for a guy who's total home run swing.
A quick timeout here. I want to be clear. It seems to me as if our good friend Woodgravy here is trying to put together a legitimate mock draft. As in, like, this is who he actually thinks the 49ers are going to take. Because there's been smoke on Alec Oladejo, Tutton, Bassa, like
It's
all
true.
that. Just as a heads up. Just as a heads up. Doesn't mean it's a good mock draft. Just to say that seems to be the angle he's coming from.
That's fair.
Tutton,
That's fair.
Bassa. We hate Bassa. We can't stand him.
Dude, his tape, I think it was against Penn State, was he looked like he'd never played linebacker before.
It was enough to be like, oh, you can't draft this guy,
And
and yet his
somebody else
stock has gone up.
somebody else made a point that he looked a lot better in 2023, which, based on what I watched in 2024, I would hope, because good Christ, it was hard to watch.
It was brutal.
Brutal.
David fucking Walker again.
By the way, I'm gonna watch him after this, and we'll see. Tutton, by the way, love him. Also fumbles an insane amount.
He has like 7 fumbles last year. It's unbelievable. I think
Awesome
it was actually
player.
4, but
Awesome player. No, I think he had like 9 in his college career, if I recall correctly, which is why I had him at like a 4th rounder, on my board. But fumbles a lot. Fumbles a lot. Real concern.
here's where we get sick. 138, Kai Kroger, punter, South Carolina.
Now we're cooking.
We're back, baby.
Now we're cooking.
By the way, Colorado School of Mines has the top long snapper in this draft.
When you say School of Mines, is it like school for the deaf?
Oh no, it's the children. They yearn for the mines.
Right. Oh, school of like underground mines.
Mines, yeah, mines.
Oh, so is he? This man's underground, just
He's a miner.
practicing. Awesome. I kind of love that. They
Colorado
need
School of Mines. They're like a D2 powerhouse.
It's incredible. I thought we were talking about School of the Mines, like a Charles Xavier X-Men type situation. We could have that, and ideally you'd want a smart.
Aren't they all schools of mines?
Some less so than others, Dieter. Some less so than others.
I guess we have to now spend.
I have not watched punters or kickers.
No, I haven't watched. Well, I've watched a little bit of the Miami kid, who I'm actually not that impressed with as a kicker.
Yeah, I'll watch them after I put the draft guide together. But punters and kickers are not going to make it in because I don't have that sort of time, and also the Niners don't need one, so I'm not going to waste my time. Actually, they could use a punter and a kicker. So,
and maybe a new long snapper.
Yeah. They could use all of them. I'm rationalizing this how I can. JJ Pegues at 147, great.
Whatever.
Reasonable.
Shiloh Sanders at 249 deserves a slapping.
Shiloh Sanders, watch my video that I made on DJ Giddens. Watch on our YouTube Shorts or TikTok. Watch the video of DJ Giddens putting Shiloh Sanders in the absolute blender. Shiloh Sanders is on the ground every play.
Shiloh Sanders legitimately was one of my favorite players to watch in college football this year because he never did anything right once.
You're like, oh, there's 21 on his ass again.
Shiloh Sanders single-handedly hurt his own brother's draft stock.
I think
so. Because you watch Shiloh Sanders not deserve playing time whatsoever. And he's just, people were out to get our Lord and Savior too, and by the way, not referring to Jesus. He was awful. He's clearly playing only because he's the coach's son. And then you go to Shedeur, who is sick. I think Shedur's really good. And it's a boomer bust, but I think he has a chance to be outstanding as a pro. And you go, oh, well, if Shiloh was playing, then they must have been playing Shedeur for the same reason.
Right.
Shiloh Sanders is costing his brother money by sucking so hard.
He's very bad. And
awful.
I can say that confidently.
If Shiloh Sanders, the argument, if his name was, David Johnson, he wouldn't be this. If Shiloh Sanders' name was David Johnson, he wouldn't have a scholarship right now.
Yeah, it's something where it's such a tame mock draft, and then you get to Shiloh Sanders, and
4 out of 5.
Yep.
The idea of mocking Shiloh Sanders to anybody is insulting to our intelligence.
That's right.
This is from CG Ruthless. We hate Darian Porter, right? We just despise him.
I can't stand him. I think he's the weakest guy I've seen play corner all year. I watched Jalen Conyers literally block him into the sideline, into hell. Gotta love Michael. at 11.
Oh
Think
yeah.
that's great.
Oh yeah.
Alfred
That's the pick, by the
Collins.
way. Can we
Yeah.
can we just all come to the
Yes.
conclusion here now that the Membu train is completely off the rails and there's no way he gets there? Like it's Williams or bust for me.
Let me just say something. Like Michael Williams is an incredible football player. I don't understand. People are like the production. Watch Georgia's games where he's playing on one foot and he is
Unfucking
collapsing the side of the offensive line and allowing everyone else to rush one on one. And even despite that, he's got a pretty good swim move. He's got a pretty good club. Like he needs a lot of work at it, on his pass rushing technique, but no one is a freakier athlete who's going to set the edge from day one and is going to collapse the pocket with power consistently than Michael Williams. I don't care about his production. Watch the tape. He's outstanding.
I'm gonna cut up the I don't care about his production for when he has like 1 sack in the first 11
Listen,
games next
listen. It's a fair concern. I'm
year. Yeah.
telling you, if I watched him and I went meh, but there's every single play. I'm like, this is a literal. This is like in a Jurassic Park where they
Mhm.
break containment, and you're like, holy shit, is that a Tyrannosaurus Rex? That's what it feels like every time I watch him.
Yeah, he's a man amongst boys, but he's consistently playing the highest level of competition. But feel free to overthink it and let him fall to 11.
Yeah, because he was playing hurt. He's playing through an injury.
Playing on a peg leg like a pirate the entire year. I mean, he couldn't it didn't look like he could
He's getting
move his
doubled
foot.
every time, Dieter. He doesn't. He has like 2 moves, and they're still like, we need 2 guys on him.
Why are you telling me I'm the one who has him over Abdul Carter?
I know. No, by the way, I'm going. I'm trying to fight that decision, and I can't because
Why?
Abdul Carter, dude, zero. Like, actually doesn't have any power whatsoever. I keep watching.
I think Abdul Carter is I don't really I never how about this?
By the way, has a stress reaction in his foot and a shoulder injury, and you're going to tell me this guy who has no power. By
He's
the way,
small.
outstanding ghost move
Mhm.
and ability to slip under tackles. I think that's going to be a problem. I think he's going to be successful with that repertoire against certain tackles. I
Mhm.
think other guys are going to say, "You can't get through my chest. I'm going to make you go through my chest to beat me," and you can't do it. But his spin move's incredible. He's got a lot of finesse.
He
But
has to
like
be in the
you're
widest of 9.
yeah. And listen, he's going to have success, but like he can't set an edge. He can't. Like he can only play 3-4 outside linebacker, I think.
This mock draft's super tame.
Yeah. Yeah.
1 out
Yeah.
of 5.
1 out of 5. Love Max Brosmer.
Why do you like Max Brosmer, quarterback out of Minnesota, who isn't objectively good?
Because he is good. He actually the thing about why he's bad is he's actually good.
Oh,
Um
okay.
so Max Brosmer is like my favorite shitty quarterback. Can climb the pocket. The ball comes out so quick.
Hmm.
He's got sneaky athletic ability and can throw off platform into tight windows. Listen, does he throw into some late windows with maddening consistency?
Is he
Yes.
throwing it directly to the other team on about
But so is every quarterback in this draft. And I just think Max Brosmer has feel for navigating the pocket, quick release. He's got a little bit of vision, and he doesn't have the top end arm talent, but he's got off platform ability. He's got, just enough juice to scramble. It's like if you're drafting him in round 6, 7, like he's kind of awesome. He's got good size, a little bit of athletic ability. Doing some sidearm action. He's fun. Don't shame me. Don't Brosmer shame me.
your kink, Max Brosmer?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Well, that's really that's 5 out
We
of
can
5 on the
yeah,
Sicko
we can
scale.
explore that on the next episode.
Love line. Sorry, I'm totally my kink is Minnesota quarterbacks.
My friend is obsessed with Max Brosmer.
This was all very sane and logical. I don't get I don't think
Yeah.
we're steering the audience right here, Jake. I think that this
Let's
is on us.
I think we can try again. We can try one more time
Okay.
before it's over. And I'm going to look into the camera here. Pan in. Let's get a
You're in
push in on
control
me.
of your camera. I
It
can't.
can't move. It can't move. That's part of the bit.
Okay.
Push in on me. Folks, next submission. These were good. Like these are solid mock drafts.
Why would you do this, Jake? Sorry, go ahead.
That was so scary.
I know.
Um, Folks, get more deranged. When you ask yourself, "What should I do with this pick?" Think, not your
Mm.
first instinct. What is your most deranged thought? Like, remember last year where you're like, when we were doing the live draft and we were like, "You know what? 49ers should fucking draft Ricky Pearsall here." And
Yeah.
then they did. Get in that sort of space.
I want a mock draft that every pick, it's like, ooh, not that Jake and Dieter will hate it,
Right.
right? But like the consensus mock draft hive mind, they'll hate this.
You ever seen the meme of the guy with the brain that's growing over his head, and then the
Oh yeah.
chair he's sitting in is his own brain?
That's my new
Channel that
life.
energy. That's what we're going
Yeah.
for.
That's right. And I want a little bounce to it, right? I want, hey, here's a sane one for you. Totally bad shit off the board, but hey, I'm going to pull it back, make you think that I
That's
still
right.
know what I'm doing. There's an art to this. We're
Yeah.
learning together,
Yo-yo
but
string.
appreciate the submissions. Really
By the
good
way,
stuff.
speaking of bounce, secret's out. There is a playlist. There's an accompanying SICKOS draft guide playlist that is attached to the draft guide that I decided to make the other day, and I sent to Dieter, and Dieter responded like he had just stared into a neutron star that was exploding.
Quote, this playlist is totally fucking deranged.
That's right. So
Yeah.
lock in. April 14th,
April 14th. What are we doing? Okay.
even if
Bye.
it kills me.